Hey, hey, welcome to 2024. If you're on live, let me know you're here. I'd love to, see some love coming up on the screen. Little wave, say hello. It's always great when people are on live because it just makes me feel like we're in a conversation here rather than speaking straight to a screen. So, yeah, say hello. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. I also love to see your comments later on. I always come back and read what's landed for you. So, yeah, love, love, love for you to drop in what lands for you, what your ahas are, what the gold is that you get from, yeah, that evokes in you from what I'm sharing. It serves you in integrating the goal and it also serves our community. So thank you because everyone has a different way of seeing things. They have a different way of communicating things. And, I love that I have such a great community here in the group. So thank you. That do give energy by sharing what they get. So thank you. So, yeah, how's 2024 treating you? Have you got to 2024 and went, oh my gosh, 2023, I'm just going to do nothing. I'm going to chillax. I'm going to have a holiday. I'm going to party um, and rejuvenate and nourish. Let me know. Is that you? In the comments, or have you been someone who's going, "Right, gung ho, getting into 2024, it's gonna be a momentous year for me. I've set my vision, I've got my goals, on the running track." What are you creating in 2024? Let me know in the comments below. Or if you've set your goals, but you're not running, you're not hustling, you're just in beautiful creative momentum, um, is that you? Pop your hand up in the comments as well. Doesn't matter where we are, right? We are the directors and masters of our own reality. We choose, how we want to play the game of life. Yeah. There's absolutely no have tos and the ways it should be definitely in this group. So I just want to recap a little bit on what we've covered so far before I jump in today. And I am going to refer to my notes. So bear with me. Yeah, so part one, we covered the reflect and review, accept and acknowledge method to consolidate the past and reclaim creative power. So we could really be in a blank canvas state, moving forward and creating, a new vision for 2024. And if you saw the um, bonus I threw in, that was actually there to sort of help with that a little bit more in terms of looking at the whole year, but also looking at what you want to create as well. So if you haven't seen the bonus and you haven't sort of looked at your vision moving forward, you might like to look at that particular video as well. Part two is we covered free will and making high level decisions that enable having it all without doing it all. My favorite topic, just quietly. Um, yeah, just yeah. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that, not specifically, but it is part of today's topic in a way. Okay, part 3 is we covered how to turn hustle into flow and being on the leading edge of the wave. So we talked a little bit about having it all in that one. And part 4 is today we'll be covering the topic of elevating your consciousness and a new paradigm of leadership. This topic actually is completing out a series, but it was also inspired by my elevate immersion that I ran on the weekend by the amazing human beings that jumped into elevate. We invested 3 hours today. It was totally free today. We invested 3 hours, sorry, bit tongue tied today. Um, and really everyone dived really deep and shared and contributed and offered, offered some real pearls of wisdom. And I think coming out of it, that's one of the big feedbacks I had was the shares, what people were reflecting on and their ahas and their awarenesses and bringing that to the group and sharing, really helped others open up to possibilities and potential and truth. And yeah, so that inspired me also to bring a little tiny bit of that into today's call. I obviously can't do 3 hours justice in this short mini thing, but I just wanted to offer a little bit of information that can really serve coming out of there. So, we're going to be working today with a premise, which is a working assumption. I'm not saying this is absolutely true, but it's something you can be curious about and try on for yourself. And if it serves you, it serves you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But the premise is definition creates reality. So when we think about definition creates reality, I want to speak more into how do we define ourselves? How do you define you? We are many. There are many aspects to us, right? I often say I'm multidimensional. There are many aspects to us, so many aspects. It's not easy to define yourself as in, just one little thing, but we're defining ourselves consciously and unconsciously in every moment through our thoughts, through how we feel about ourselves, through our behaviors, through the actions and decisions we make. And based on how we're defining ourselves, whether we're aware of it or unaware, unconsciously, will depend on, you know, what decisions we make, whether we make those high level decisions or whether we make low level decisions, whether we make decisions and choices and behave in ways that don't serve us or are serving us, that are coming from lack or scarcity or coming from abundance, right? We can define ourselves as someone who life happens to. We can define ourselves as someone who life happens for, things happen for us in life, or we can define ourselves as someone who has life happen through us, things happen through us. We are creators. Yeah? These are just a few little examples. We can define ourselves as not good enough, and we might think, oh no, I use the affirmation, I am great, I am good enough, I can do this. But unconsciously, what that can do is actually give more power to the fact that we have an underlying belief that is, I'm not good enough. Um, Something I went into a little bit, and I'm going to be going into these things a little bit more. I went into it in Elevate, but we're going to sort of, yeah, just give that this food for thought. If you have questions around that, pop it in the comments below. Um, Elevating your consciousness really is stepping outside of the belief system and coming from a state of your true nature and purpose. And that state is your highest, state of being. And I want to speak into that a little bit through this series today, through this part. So before I jump into that, I want to share something that it was a statement that was very impactful for me, and I've been working, it just made a lot of sense to me, and I want to share this with you because it's great food for reflection for yourself. It's called the Matthew effect, and I am going to read this. I believe it originated from the Bible, but Wikipedia says, this is from Wikipedia. It says the Matthew effect is for to everyone who has will be given more, and he or she will have abundance. But from him or her who has not, even what he or she has will be taken away. It's really powerful to reflect on this statement. We see in life, people who often live, in a state of um, scarcity, or they don't have much, right? They don't have much in terms of material wealth or finances, that win tats lotto as an example, and so they become millionaires overnight, right? So they have they have not a lot in terms of money, and then all of a sudden they have an abundance of money and they receive that. There's been a lot of research done on that these people that receive that overnight, you know, it doesn't take long for them to lose it all. There's also been research done on someone who actually what did have that experience, but they actually gave attention and energy into keeping it and holding on to it, and even they lost it. And so when I reflect on that, they're coming from a state of mind, right? From a state of mind, whether they know it or not, of scarcity, of having to hold on to because they have not. They're people that have not, meaning they've got something, but they can't have more. They haven't got the capacity to have more. So they've lucked out and they've got something, so we've got to hang on to it or we just blow it because we're not comfortable. We're used to having not, right? Um, and I want to reflect a little bit on being a have, someone who has, right? Someone who has a mindset of abundance, right? They do have a mindset of abundance, or they're grateful for what they have. And there is, that saying, abundance is the attitude of gratitude, or the attitude of gratitude is an abundant attitude. And I want to dive into that a little bit too, because for me, when I think about, the attitude of gratitude is something that is used widely in the personal development industry, and people do apply it as a manifestation method, right? It's like, yeah, I'm grateful, so I'll get more, right? That speaks into this as well, yeah. And just being around people, like I know when I'm in that state of gratitude, I'm in a state of wholeness in myself, right? I'm at one with myself, I'm at one with my heart, I'm at one with what I have, I'm at one with my environment, people, right? When we have an attitude of gratitude, we're at one with. And I relate that to being someone who is a have person. I have because I'm at one with myself, my heart, what I have, what is. I'm in my wholeness. I'm in a state of being that is abundant because I'm in a state of have and gratitude. Yeah. And when I'm a have not person, which is when I'm in my identity, my personality, right? Because our personality or identity or our egoic state has this interesting aspect that we're always, from that state, you're always looking at what you might lose. Well, you're always there's a fear of what you might lose. Like it's a state of we've got to survive. So we've got to look at, you know, there's a risk here and what we might lose. Yeah. So as an example, if I'm in a have not, I know if I'm looking at what I might lose over actually what I have, then I know I'm in that state of I'm defining myself as a have not person. I'm in that state of I have not. And when I'm in that state of I have not, what I tend to do, and I'm not sure if you'll relate to this, but what I tend to do from that state is I become a doer and I'm doing things to have things and then I can be. right? If I have not, I'll go, my mindset will go, what do I have to do so I can have that? And then I can be. Yeah. And so it's that hamster wheel, that treadmill, that workaholic mindset. But if I'm in a state of be, have, do, and that's the state of the have, I'm a have person. A have is being in wholeness, being authentic of being in my true nature, my purpose, my higher vibration of who I really am, my true potential. I'm being that in the world. I'm choosing to be that. I have it all because in that state of consciousness, I do have it all. I'm in my creative potential and I can make choices in my life, the higher level choices in my life from that state, which take me much further in life. I call it the quantum experience. And the action that I take is from an inspired level of orientation. It's inspired action. So I do less by being more. Yeah. So how am I defining myself in any moment, whether I'm aware of it or unaware of it? And if I'm in the have not, I'm, and find myself doing, right? We all have red flags, by the way. So one of my red flags is I'm like, oh yeah, I, I'm doing. Oh, being in my have not. Okay, so I'm being in my have not. I know better than that because I teach this stuff, right? And so it's like self-awareness is the key, and we all go to sleep on, where we're at in any moment. So we do need those little signposts, those little red flags. And one of the red flags is, am I doing? Am I doing to have to be? And that'll be, that's the orientation of yes, you can get there. You can get there, but is that how you want to get there, right? That's the motivate yourself. Got to got the plan, got the structure, got to do all this to have and be. Finally, like that's the got to go to school, got to learn all these subjects I don't even like. I don't even know why I have to learn all these subjects and study them, right? Just so I can go to university or have the job I want, and then I can save up enough money to go on a holiday. Oh, and eventually I'll my own house and I'll retire and I can be free of the system. Right? Be free of, how things have to be in this world that I live in. Or I can actually be free of all of that and be true to, my higher self, my true self, who I innately know myself to be, my true nature. And in that state, I've got free will. I've got free choice. And this is really powerful. I've got free choice. I can choose anything. And my intuition will give me the exact inspiring actions to take, which will be unorthodox, by the way. They won't be, what we're taught. But they're always, the most direct pathway to create the outcomes, with less effort in our life. So I just want to share two ways of operating in the world in terms of creating the outcomes we want. But one way is a lot of doing, and the other way is, a lot of knowing who you are and being that person and carving your own path in life. The new paradigm of leadership is to live from a state of truth, love, and wisdom. And that really means, going for, giving attention and focus to saying, yes, these are my dreams. These are true for me. Society might say they're impossible. I might even think they're impossible. But when I really, when I really reflect on what I've always wanted in my life, and I see other people experiencing these things, it is possible. I just may have been doing to have and be, and conditioned with belief systems that keep me looping, and I haven't learned another way. Let me know if you relate to that, by the way. I've learned another way, but I haven't really mastered that other way. I've learned how to be a creator, but I've not really mastered it yet. It's still a work in progress. So in my experience, in my journey, moving, moving beyond the traditional way of living by the measures of my parents' society, the have tos, not having, any awareness of what I really wanted. The first step to moving beyond that was really diving deep into, some key questions, which I'm going to leave you with. And when I really dived into those key questions and discovered, my soul's blueprint, my vision beyond the vision of what I was seeing in my environment and the model that was there around me. I think I was a bit of a black sheep, by the way, because my my new paradigm was there wasn't anyone like it living that way in my world back then. So yeah, it come back to, answering the question or diving deep into the question of who am I? Like, who am I really? Beyond my beliefs, beyond, what I think I am, beyond what other people edify what I am, but who am I really at the core of who I am? And I did some deep soul searching. And I asked myself, why am I here? Once again, when you ask these powerful questions to yourself and you reflect on them, like really devoted to the path of identifying, and defining, it's quite incredible what comes to you. What is my path? What is my path? I used to find it very easy. I was so muzzled up, mixed up, in everyone else's paths, like so outwardly focused on everyone else and just going along, living in the shadow of other people. What is my path? And what are my dreams? Took me a long time to realize what my dreams were. I was pretty messed up about 3 decades ago. This is how long I've been on a pathway of self realization. And what do I stand for? What's my vision, my mission, my values, and my legacy? When I identified all of these things, it really grounded me in that higher state of consciousness of my true potential. It gave me direction, but it also gave me, a grounding in that state of elevated consciousness that helps me stay on my own tracks in life with more ease. It also helps me powerfully manifest, alignment in terms of what I attract into my life. It helps me make those higher level decisions because I know my values and I make value based decisions and I partner with people who have aligned values. So, it's very powerful questions. So, I want to invite you to reflect on these questions for yourself. If you really want to ground yourself in your highest creative frequency in 2024 and build on that, to have more ease, more flow, and creative momentum. Thank you for being on. Enjoy carving your own path. And if you're curious about joining Elevate, when I offer the next one, drop Elevate below and I'll pop your name on the list so you don't miss out. Thank you. Bye.